So what are all these accusations and these defamations, this discrediting of Desteni members, and especially of Bernard Poolman, indicate? What is the motivation? What is the true intention of all these nonsense accusations that some people try to put against Desteni members and Bernard Poolman especially? Actually, this is really, really interesting and obvious that almost all the time these accusations come from a starting point of being or feeling oneself inferior, or even feeling oneself attacked and challenged as the ego personality one has built up and has identified with. And while listening or watching videos from Desteni members, reading the Desteni material, listening to Bernard or anything of that stuff, one feels challenged and threatened as the ego personality by that what is being said there and what one is witnessing while watching the Desteni material, or people from Desteni sharing their process and their own development or deprogramming processes. So actually, it is absolutely understandable that one feels threatened by this when you come from a starting point of an ego personality that identifies oneself and determines oneself from the separation, from the mind-created separation from others, while you are trying to pretend or to play a role in society and in your social environment, while you try to make up to those belief systems and ideologies that you think other people perceive yourself like such a person or such a person, a sweet, nice, arrogant, a strong, weak, extravagant person or whatever. So all this is absolute bogus and nonsense. We all know that as far as we have started to reflect upon ourselves, or to think, or to dare to step back from our egoistic and egocentric point of view on life, on the world, and this should become an automatic process in growing up. So from the infantile state of the human being towards a more adolescent state of being. This is the theory. In reality, this is not working quite well, as we can see when we regard many of people, or when we regard the people and humanity in general as it is acting and behaving all around the planet. So, but in that being threatened or feeling oneself attacked or threatened as the ego that one perceives oneself to be, one reacts in one way or another. And on YouTube especially, there's this possibility to keep yourself hidden and safe as an anonymous personality. You can pretend to be whoever or whatever you want to be, and you can accuse anybody, anyone of anything. You can blame anybody or anyone to be responsible for your own problems. And this is in general what happens when you make a hater video, when you accuse or blame somebody for doing bad or evil things through speaking through videos or sharing oneself or one's own insights or realizations with others. This is what Desteni people are doing. They are walking a process of self-realization, questioning each and every programming and conditioning they or we as human beings have experienced through our lives, and we are using common sense and the human mind and intellect as tools in order to find out whether what we have been programmed to and to become and what our behavior indicates and expresses as on this planet is what is best for all, if this is supporting everyone equally or if this is just harmful to all life forms, including our own existence, while we in fact are deluded or not realizing that we are hurting not only ourselves but life in general or millions of other life forms, and we are going to destroy ourselves after we have destroyed almost every life form that we know. So in fact we cannot destroy life, this is obvious, but it is the suffering that we create, it is the stupidity in stopping oneself from exposing or in fact applying one's real potential as life and as a living being. In fact, we are stopping ourselves from doing that. We are our own hindrances from realizing our own potential and the potential of life in general. Tyson, come on. So, and when you do that, and when you actually, that is what we at Desteni are doing, when you start to share this process, and when you start to share yourself in the open, nothing is hidden anymore, because we are all one and equal. It is no use of hiding anything, because we know that we all experience these things more or less in the same way. All this programming, this upbringing, this education, the imprint of the system that is imposed upon us. It is always the same. From being a child to growing up to an adult, we become human robots that follow conditionings that are not even supporting ourselves as life. So, So what is it that makes people act like that and react like that? So that you start to accuse and blame people. So, and when you accuse people that are doing this, that they would actually be the brainwashed robots. And like in this video, he's repeating his own so-called message again and again. Like all those haters, he seems to be, or he sees himself to be on a mission to protect others from a dangerous cult that would deceive them and lure them into it in order to make them robots that are that will no longer think for themselves and that will only follow and do what they are told. And yes, this is actually what is going on, what the people are representing in our world today at this stage, everywhere. This is what our system does. And when you say, for example, that Bernard was using all kinds of methods of brainwashing. So what is this brainwashing that one is talking about here? What is brainwashing? Brainwashing is everything that you do with the human mind, with the human brain, in order to manipulate it to do something that you want it to do, or to perceive something from a perspective that you want it to be perceived. So this is actually what we are always doing in our whole society. We are doing brainwashing all the time. We are brainwashing our children from the very beginning. All these methods we are being told that we're good for our children, how we should bring them up, how we should teach them, what we should tell them, these moral standards, these cultural, traditional values that we try to infiltrate the mind of our children with. This is brainwashing.